As I was staring at the map, my eyes stared upwards, and I saw a huge eagle with wings spread out. Eagles in the prophetic typically represent a prophet, or it represents the prophetic move of God, a prophetic move coming. And we believe also, and we find that biblically, and we also believe that's why an eagle represents the United States, that there's a prophetic call on the United States of America. The width, tip to wing, and the other were enormous. So obviously this was a very big move coming, right? On top of the eagle's spread wings, there was a U.S. flag painted on the wings as though draped across the back of the eagle. It was very, very vivid. Now, the vision holder says that it was painted upon the wings. Why do you think it was painted, Robin?
Well, because it was a part of the eagle. It wasn't something on top of the eagle.
Right.
But it was in the eagle.
Right.
Already, so it was one with the eagle.
Right. And it's, it's also, if something were draped across the eagle, it would mean that it could be removed and maybe something else could be placed upon it. But being painted on, or even like tattooed on, it's permanent. It's the eagle for the United States, right? And eagles represent the prophetic. So it's almost like the prophet for the U.S. or the prophetic coming move of God over the U.S. My eyes then zeroed in on one eye of the eagle, and I stared closely at its eye, trying to understand its intent, but I just couldn't hear what it's thinking or doing. This is such a intercessor call. She's eye to eye, right? She's honing in. She's trying to get in there and figure out, okay, Spirit, what are you doing? What are you feeling? What are you saying? Right? That is such an intercessory heart. Lord, tell me what you have for this country. Tell me what you're feeling about this country. Tell me what you're thinking about this country. What is your heart for this country, God? And that's really what an intercessor does. It's eye to eye. Now, shortly after, my eyes began to move to more of a frontal view. Remember, she was looking up. Now she's coming eye to eye. And the eagle was soaring over the map, coming out of Canada into the center of the map. Now, we don't really know if the eagle was coming out of Canada, because it was clearly an eagle for the United States. We know that because it was painted on. Now, she could have thought, because that's where Canada is, that it looked like it was coming out of Canada. In reality, it's rising up around the world. The world is round.
Right.
So it's kind of rising up and coming over. It's coming from somewhere.
Right.
And of course, it would come from the north, right? Back over to the United States. Now, interesting, as it soared about Kansas, it soared about Kansas and Oklahoma, I started to see a bright light behind the eagle on the horizon, coming up in the distance as if it were a sunrise, but it was a horizon north of Canada. So she says Canada twice now. Why Kansas and Oklahoma?
Well, there's a couple reasons. We can look at where they are in the U.S. They're kind of smack dab in the center. So that would be one thought, is to look at the actual geographical location of them. We can also look at spiritually. We know that Kansas City is where the IHOP movement is and is birthed out of. And
Right.
so that's a very big spiritual
Intercessory
hub
prayer.
of intercessory prayer and worship that's spread out from all over the world.
Right.
And we know that Tulsa and Oklahoma has some foundational ministries
Of the
that
Word.
of the Word that have also spread
right.
all over the world. So we have the Word in Oklahoma, we have the Spirit in Kansas City.
Right, Word and Spirit, right. Two big hubs, if you will, for the Spirit and the Word. So I realized it could not be a sunrise coming up from the north, but it just kept getting brighter and brighter. Then I saw Jesus coming up, and the bright light rising was from him. I could not see his face, but I just knew it was him. The glory of Jesus was lighting up the map coming in behind the eagle. The eagle continued south, going out of my view. My focus then shifted from the eagle to Jesus.